Hello and welcome. Thank you once again for joining us for this episode 51 of the Drunk Doctor Who podcast.
Yep, this one, I didn't change the name. Alright, I changed all the other stuff, but the name.
We've done it, we've hit the 70s. We are now in the disco era of
Well,
Who.
technically disco era comes a little bit later.
Well, we've hit the smooth jazz era of Doctor Who. We're getting some Spearhead From Space is the name of this episode.
Yep.
Serial. 4 episodes. So it's a pretty short one. Well, is it 4 the average or is 6, would you say?
From
I think 4 is pretty average for serials.
Yeah, 4 is pretty average. Okay.
So,
Alright.
Let's introduce ourselves.
Okay. I'm Hatter.
I'm joined with Hatter, and I am
Holden.
Ewan McGregor.
No, you're not Ewan McGregor.
I wish I was.
Okay, he's like in his 50s.
Is he really?
I think so.
He doesn't look it.
He looks pretty
Looks
good.
like he's in his 30s.
Alright. And we're on the third Doctor. This Doctor.
Guy.
We have finally switched from the second to the third Doctor.
We hit the third Doctor.
Yep.
And with Pertwee comes color television.
Yes.
What did they used to call it? Technovision?
Well, no, Technicolor was a thing.
Technicolor.
But so the third Doctor. Alright, point him out.
They're not
Right
in order.
there, that's
So
it.
why
No,
is
no,
the
no.
first Doctor third one down, second Doctor's fourth one down, and then third Doctor's on the other side?
Yeah, don't ask questions. Alright, no.
How do you spell Pertwee?
Pertwee. Pertwee.
W-E-E? What's
Yeah,
his first
right
name?
here.
What's Pertwee? John.
John. Well,
J-O-N.
I think it might have been Jonathan, but yeah, John Pertwee.
John Pertwee. So we have William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, and now John Pertwee.
Alright, so Spearhead from Space. Like Holden was saying, it's I think like the number of episodes.
4 episodes.
I am smoking crack today. Alright.
We were talking about that earlier.
4 episodes. Okay, you gonna write the companions?
Yes.
Okay, so
You read the companions.
you want me to write the companions? Okay.
Good.
Well, the companions.
Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart.
Liz Shaw.
Shaw. Yeah.
Oops.
Sham.
Liz Shaw.
I'll do the antagonist.
And the Brigadier.
Lethbridge Stewart. So is
Usually
his
just referred to as the Brigadier.
is his first name Lethbridge? Or maybe Left is his first name. Bridge is his middle name and Stewart's his last name.
No. Lethbridge Stewart is his last name. It's a hyphenated name. In Scotland,
So Stewart is his first name.
no, it's a hyphenated name.
Lethbridge Stewart
Yes.
is his full last name.
Yes.
Wow.
In Scotland, and he's Scottish, you have the house and the clan.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have a hyphenated name that would show the house and the clan.
So he's Scottish.
Right. So and he shows up in a kilt in one episode.
I didn't know that.
Oh, in one serial. Well, you're not there yet.
Mm.
But Lethbridge is either the house or the clan. I forget which. I think the house, and Stewart's the clan. But that's why it's hyphenated.
So we replaced Jamie with another Scottish person.
We didn't replace Jamie. Jamie had met Lethbridge Stewart a couple of times. Remember?
Yes.
So not exactly. He's a whole different kettle of fish. But he's been there before.
Whole different kettle of fish. I haven't heard that one.
Okay. Well, it's an old saying. Alright. So anyway, since it's only 4 episodes, we're a lot more sober than last time.
I'll say. I definitely am.
Oh
I wasn't even here last time. Pretty much.
You were way
That's it for the introduction.
Oh my.
And then for the rest of the podcast, I was rolling around in the living room.
In the living room with the Moffat bucket. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What are we drinking today?
Magnum Flame, as normal now.
Drinking Smirnoff Ice.
Mm-hmm.
I've had green apple, screwdriver, peach, and now green apple.
This is more your speed. It's only about 16 proof.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, mine's 60, which still isn't bad.
It's a lot more easy for me to handle.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so today we're going to cover this cereal, and then we're going to hopefully cover any questions he had from the last cereal, but was too wasted and not
If
here
I
to
can
ask.
read them.
If we can read them.
7 episodes?
10 episodes. That's why you were so wasted.
I guess I only remember 7.
Okay. Anyway, so Doctor Who Spearhead from Space introduces the third Doctor, commonly recalled the Gentleman Doctor, which I think we've mentioned before.
I thought that was just your nickname. Other people call him that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. Pertwee was an actor.
And he's a Gentleman Doctor because he wears ruffles.
He's a Gentleman Doctor because he's very, very gentlemanly. He has a cravat and the ruffles, and his style of clothing, because remember all the doctors have a distinct style of clothing, is not even attempted to be duplicated until the 12th Doctor, who's not on that because it predates the 12th Doctor. Okay. You're right. McGann has a bit of an ascot, but it's still not a cravat.
Does he remind you of Voldemort from Harry Potter?
No.
It's the long face.
Well, that wouldn't be Voldemort. That'd be
no, not
Severus
Voldemort.
Snape.
Snape. That's what I meant.
He looks a little like Snape. But anyway, so the red lining on the inside of a velvet coat.
Yeah.
Capaldi, the 12th Doctor, eventually does that.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's really cool. I like it. I mean, lose a little bit of weight, I could possibly pull that off at my age, you know? But you have to be older to pull that off.
Alan Rickman.
Rickman, yes. Alan Rickman.
That's who he looks like.
Who
passed away.
He passed away, but I was about to say who did the introduction of the instruments for Tubular Bells 2.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells 2. Alan Rickman introduces the instruments, and it's great.
He has a great voice.
He does.
Yeah, again, in Live for Your Die Hard?
Die Hard,
the first one.
Yep. Yeah, the first one. Hans something. Anyway.
Hans
something.
Ray.
Gruberman or something. I don't know.
There you go, Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber. That's it, Hans Gruber. Yeah, I'm a big Mike Oldfield fan. I think we mentioned that before. Okay,
Is that who directed Die Hard?
Do I know who directed Die Hard?
No, who are you a fan of?
Mike Oldfield. He's a British musician.
Oh. For the Carol of Bells.
For the what?
Is that who Alan Rickman? I'm just trying to connect
Alan
the dots.
Rickman introduces the instruments in Mike Oldfield's album Tubular Bells 2.
Okay, cool. Alright.
Grand piano.
I'm cut up now.
Okay. Vocal cords. Alright, anyway. The bad guys are the Autons and the Nestine. Which I think is what you're writing now. This is our first appearance with the Autons and the Nestine, both. Lots of things are introduced here with the beginning of the third Doctor.
Like color. And smooth jazz.
Color, like I said, smooth jazz. Unit. Well, Unit was kind of introduced before, but now they're solidified, and the Brigadier is solidified.
UNIT is an acronym, so what does it stand for?
United Nations Intelligence Task Force. At this time. Later on, it is Unified Intelligence Task Force. They drop the United Nations when they go to the reboot. Not reboot, revival.
For why?
Revival.
They drop it.
Oh, the United Nations sucks.
Yeah.
Seriously, there's...
The UN. AKA Ghostbusters for space.
Wait, what?
They're Space Force unit. They deal with supernatural things.
No, Unit
they deal with space things.
Unit deals with things coming in from outer space, but also local stuff.
Like local space stuff.
What was it? Alright. Anyway, so 4 episodes from January 3rd, 1970 to January 24th, 1974. The companions, Liz Shaw and the Brigadier. The Brigadier coming back. We've seen him before. Twice before, and he is a companion. And you had asked earlier, Web of Fear and The Invasion were the 2 times he had been there before.
Cyberman and...
Right. Web of Fear was the Great Intelligence and the,
Gotcha.
What do they call it? The Yeti. The Yeti. Yeah. And The Invasion was the Cyberman. And it was in The Invasion when he became a Brigadier. He was lower rank previously.
Lieutenant Lethbridge.
Right, lieutenant, and then he became brigadier. All right. So the antagonist, Auton, and the Nestings. As a note, this is the only single serial of the old stuff to be put on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Right.
Why is that?
Okay. I told you to ask me that. Yep. Okay. That is because there was a strike at the beginning of the 1970s of the filmers for the BBC. And the director said, just give me a camera and I will film it myself.
You did a pretty good job.
So he did. So he goes out with a big old camera, because most of the time when they did shoots on location, they would use a camera because they had to. But in studio, they'd use the tape. So you would see a drastic difference in quality of film, of video between the on location and in studio. So with the tapes, would be lower than with the camera. So he because it was film and it was 620 PAL. Well, originally even lower than that, but it went to 620 later. Okay. All right. There are different types of formats for video. Okay. In America, we had NTSC, which is like 560 lines, something like that. I don't remember exactly. In the United Kingdom, they had an older version, which was like 400 lines, but somewhere in the 60s, they went to PAL. And the PAL was like 640 lines. So it was a decent resolution. So you see an uptick in quality when you go from the DVD versions of old Doctor Who to the Blu-ray versions of old Doctor Who, not only for the upconversion, but because there were actually more lines filmed for the vast majority of it.
Fascinating.
Right. So you can get a old VHS tape from the United Kingdom, put it in a VCR from the United States, and it'll play, but it'll look really weird because there's extra lines, and so there'll be a lot of fuzz and the static, and it'll seem different, because of the difference of PAL and NTSC. But anyway, so when the director went out and filmed this all on his own with a hand film, well, that's high definition. The film is actual high definition.
So it's funny that what he did was a much better resolution
than what they would have done otherwise, because he had to go do it himself with a portable camera, which is hilarious. So this is why, of all of the DVDs up here, the only Blu-rays you'll see in the old stuff are complete seasons, except Spearhead From Space, which is given a Blu-ray release because it would benefit from the higher resolution of the film. That's only there because of the strike and the director having to go out and film it himself.
And why is it that they went on strike?
I have no bloody idea.
Probably more money.
There were lots of strikes in the 60s and 70s, along with protests and all that kind of stuff. But so that's why this is on Blu-ray. Now we will soon get it on Blu-ray in the box set for the season, as they're going through and doing all the box sets by season. Which we have. Let's see. We have the second series of Colin Baker. We have the first series of Davison.
Break your shelf.
Well, yeah. Eventually, we'll have them all on Blu-ray. We've got the final season of Tom Baker. Is that the fifth season of Tom Baker? The fourth season of Pertwee. Those are the ones out on. Oh, there's one up there. Oh, the last season of McCoy. And those are the ones out so far on Blu-ray. They're bringing out 2 a year, the same way they're doing the 2 animated serials per year.
Right.
And they have more or less time so that hopefully everything is out by about 2028. Maybe 2029, but it looks like 2028. They'll have every single missing serial animated and every single classic season out on Blu-ray at the same time, more or less. That would be nice. Okay. Anyway.
Unless the show gets canceled again.
Well, that's irrelevant to the re-releases.
Huh. So they're just going to keep going with those?
Well, yeah, even though the show's canceled, there's still fans of this. And even if it's canceled, it's probably only a hiatus, as there's been 2 before. And it'll probably be brought back later on.
Been 2 hiatus?
Mm-hmm.
Hiatus? Oh, just this wasn't there one in between the 13th Doctor and 12th? Was that the...
No, there's not a hiatus there. Oh. The hiatuses were there. You've got the first 7 Doctors from 63 to 89. Then you had the first hiatus. Then you have the TV movie, which was the 8th Doctor. Again, the one with the ascot there.
So he's just in one movie.
Yeah, mostly yes. He does come back for a very short mini episode.
Okay.
For the 50th anniversary. But other than that, yeah. And we're talking the TV show, not all the Big Finish audios.
Audios? Like the radio?
There's a company called Big Finish that started up in the 90s when Doctor Who had gone off the air for the first hiatus. And they started doing a bunch of audios, like radio plays.
Are you going to listen to those?
There's enough for the TV show. I don't need all the audios.
Are the audios canon?
Depends on the individual.
Okay.
You could consider the audios canon. I could consider them not canon.
Right.
The BBC has never said. Okay, but they do a bunch of them with the actual original actors. I prefer to stick with one medium.
Visual.
Yeah, the visual. Well, it's like The Matrix. In order to get the whole story for The Matrix, you had to watch the movies, read the comics, play the video game, watch the animated thing. I'm like, no, I want one medium. I don't want to have to follow 5 mediums to get a story.
You hear they're making another Matrix?
Yes, they are. But it's only one of the Wachowskis this time.
Just one.
Yeah. But
which I wonder if the other one approves.
I have no idea. None of it. They started out as the Wachowski brothers. Now they're the Wachowski sisters. Or I think they just go by the Wachowskis.
Something like that.
Yeah. But now there's only one of them doing the new Matrix.
I don't know, I'm kind of excited. It's been a long time since
I don't know.
Matrix movie.
They haven't properly brought back a old classic that I love and done it right.
Not great at rebooting stuff.
Well, not rebooting, but reviving after a long ass time. Like the Terminator one was bad. The Ghostbusters one was bad.
Star Wars.
The Star Wars was bad.
Well, that's on their second.
Yeah, let's see.
Prequels of the Star Wars were bad.
Oh, they were bad.
But Doctor Who's good when they revived it.
Yes, for a long time, but now it's gotten bad.
Maybe it just needs another reboot.
No. Revival, not reboot. Never reboot. Why lose 50-something years of canon? I'm just trying to think of something that they revived. The only thing I think of is Blade Runner. The old Blade Runner was fantastic.
Yeah.
The new Blade Runner was fantastic.
Indiana Jones was pretty bad.
It's still decent. I mean, you have the War Doctor in it, but the problem was they had what's-his-face, the kid, and he was horrible. Franchise killer. What's his name? Shia LaBeouf. Franchise killer. He's just so bad. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty bad. With the exception of Blade Runner, I can't think of much else that they brought back after a super long period of time, and it was actually good.
I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah, the new Alien stuff is crap.
Did they make a new Alien movie?
There's been a couple of them at least. Covenant and...
I guess I'm just real out of the loop.
Whatever,
all that stuff. Did you like Alien vs. Predator?
No.
No?
No.
Why didn't you like
it? There was the original, and there was a sequel, like Alien vs. Predator 2. The problem was we have big aliens. They kill everything and everybody. We have predators which kill everything and everybody. And the only survivor is the human female. That pissed me off. It's like, really? She out-survives the Predator? Really?
And Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was a bunch of movies back. Hey, but no, I was like, no. Alright, anyway, oh my gosh. We haven't even gotten the plot of this. Okay.
let's go over the plot.
So, remember, the Doctor just regenerated.
Should I roll around in the living room so you have
do not.
some peace and quiet to cover the plot?
No. The fun's the interaction, you know? Well, and the alcohol. Alright, so, alright. Drink, all of you at home. Cheers. Alright. The whole 27 of you now or something?
We're moving on up?
Oh, yeah, something like that. So, our episode surpassed our subscribers a long time ago. Please subscribe, or don't. We are not in this for the money, so we really don't care.
Leave us comments that are linking to pornographic dating websites.
That was hilarious.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, no, I deleted it, you know. Yeah, we had somebody subscribe just to link to a pornographic site. I mean, not that I'm against pornographic sites.
It was weird because he left a timestamp of the video, and then he posted the link. I don't know if that's like trying to click someone to.
No idea.
I'm not sure what the strategy is there.
There is a Doctor Who porn parody.
I heard.
Yeah, Doctor Whore.
Doctor
Whore, and it's actually pretty good because.
Or hooer.
No, whore.
So what you know when you conjunct words like they and are is there?
There, right.
What about who are?
There's no apostrophe in the though.
Yeah. But would that be hooer?
In theory, if you put an apostrophe in there,
hooer coming to the party.
And you put an apostrophe in there, it could work, but it's not in this. Anyway, it's done by...
Would that be socially acceptable to text to someone?
I don't know. English changes constantly. I'm befuddled by how much it changes constantly. I grew up with
Spagillo.
I grew up with them. The word them being plural, non-gender pronoun. Them.
Thems.
No, just them.
Plural thems?
No, them. THEM is plural.
Oh, you're talking about like, yeah,
it's
there's a whole lot of change coming.
Yeah, but now them is used as
like a singular.
Right, singular non-gender.
It's not gender specific.
That makes no sense to me.
That throws me too.
I'm old school. I read an article, or I read an article,
and they
used them for a guy as a non-gender specific because I think he was trans or something, or she was trans, I don't know, but they kept using them, and I kept going, you're talking about a single individual. It doesn't make any sense.
It is confusing.
It was really confusing and awkward, but apparently the language is changing.
Some people say Z and Zer.
That would make more sense to me than
because
them.
It's still singular, but it's not. But then I don't know if people were upset with that.
I don't know, but the language changes. It always has, and you know why?
It's flexible.
Well, yes, but back in the old days, in the United Kingdom, when the people were speaking English, the aristocracy was speaking French. So they were speaking French and stuff, and they still do occasionally in Parliament, traditionally.
You know that's how Canada's government works, is like it's half English speaking.
We'll just go back.
French.
Yeah. But anyway, so they were speaking French, and the English kept changing because the common people kept changing it. So by the time they came back down to speaking English, it was very different. But the Queen still passes or vetoes bills, in theory, in the House of Lords with we or no.
No.
Correct.
Well, she still says no in English.
Well, it's the same word. But yeah, she hasn't vetoed anything in a long time, and I think if she did, it would cause a constitutional crisis.
Do you think people are confused by when she says we because it's plural?
No. It's a long-standing tradition. Like a or nay, you know. yes or no, A
those
or
aren't
nay.
plural.
But we still say those in.
When I go down a slide, I like to refer to myself and some other people. Wee.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more alcohol for this. All right. Okay. Seriously, we're talking about Doctor Who. Okay. In the first episode,
I'll let you do the plot.
okay, right at the beginning. Oh, you go to the bathroom.
I'll be back.
Right at the beginning. Wait, did you ever find any trace that we watched the second movie?
I have no notes on it. I have notes on the first movie we watched. I have no mental notes, no physical notes on ever watching another
We're gonna have to watch the second movie. All right.
I don't remember us doing that.
We're gonna have to watch the
I
second
don't
movie.
think we did.
Alright. Okay. Anyways, back to this. In the first episode, it starts with a guy watching a sonar, and he's saying all these meteorites are coming to Earth, but they're falling to Earth in formation, and it's the little spearhead. And they come to Earth, and then they land sort of in formation in this woods. And a guy finds one of them. Well, he kind of ducks down while they land, and one of them lands near him. He finds it, and he's a poacher. He hunts rabbits in the woods, but I guess the woods are owned by the queen. Yeah, at that time it was still the queen. The same queen. Queen Elizabeth. And he finds it and he stuffs it in a bag. In the meantime, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart is interviewing Elizabeth Shaw, shortened to Liz Shaw, for a position at UNIT. While he's interviewing her and telling her she has a doctorate in several things, degrees in a whole bunch of stuff. She's very well educated, she's very intelligent and knowledgeable, and she's probably the most well educated and knowledgeable companion until Romana, which we will get to in the fourth Doctor. Anyway, so she's wonderful companion, very intelligent, very good. Scientist. Anyway, so he's interviewing her and tells her that they deal with stuff from space. She doesn't believe him, but then they are talking about the meteorites, and he says, yeah, the Earth's been invaded a couple of times, but this one man helped us out, and he mentions the Doctor. And then he gets a phone call saying, hey, we found a man half unconscious outside of a police box in the middle of the woods, because the charge had materialized in the woods, and the Doctor had fallen out of it. So they take the Doctor to this. Obviously, it's called a chateau. It was nearly a mansion, not quite, but nearly a mansion, that was obviously taken over in World War II to be a hospital during World War II, and the Doctor's taken there. Now, when the Doctor regenerates, he's out of it for a while, sometimes for a good bit, sometimes for not that long, but it just depends. But it's established he's kind of a bit off. So they take him to the hospital, and they're examining him. And like I said, this is the first time the Doctor's in color. Unfortunately, they've reduced the number of episodes per season from 40-something due to budget cuts. And because black and white was cheaper, now we go to color, it's more expensive. And it's like 25 episodes this season, but it's normally 26. So even though Pertwee has 5 seasons, which is more than Hartnell or Troughton, their episode numbers are about the same because of the number of episodes being cut so drastically. But also, it's here, while they're examining the Doctor, that we finally establish he has 2 hearts, a different blood type, and that he can put himself into a self-induced coma. So the Brigadier looks at him and he goes, "You don't know who he is. He was outside of a telephone box. He has a different physiology. He must be the doctor." And he looks at his face and he's like, "This is the doctor." Because the Brigadier has yet to experience that the doctor can change faces when he regenerates. He doesn't know that yet. But by the end of the first episode, beginning of the second episode, he finally begins to believe that that could be the doctor. Anyway, the doctor wakes up. He goes in and out of consciousness. And he wants his shoes. Nobody can figure out why he wants his shoes, but eventually he gets his shoes, and it's shown that he's got the TARDIS key in his shoe. That's why he wants it. So he covets his shoes. Okay, so eventually the doctor gets good enough to be moved. The Brigadier has his men looking in the woods for the meteorites, which the one guy who's found one calls a thunderbolt. Thunderball, yeah, which he took home. I think it was the name of a James Bond film, Thunderball. And
Sam Seeley.
Yeah, Sam Seeley's the name of that guy.
Poacher.
Yeah, poacher and a bit of a never do well.
Never do well.
Exactly, never do well. So anyway.
I feel bad for Sam.
Well, yeah, but at least his wife survived.
Yes. She got karate chopped. He didn't really like his wife anyway. I got the sense that they didn't like each other.
Yeah, true.
He's a poor poacher who's just trying to make a buck, and I don't think they ever paid him.
No. Okay, so eventually somebody figures out the doctor is at the hospital.
Yes. They call Lethbridge Stewart, the Brigadier, about the police box found in the woods.
Oh yeah, I covered that. Yeah. And
is the janitor who
right? The janitor figures out there's something going on.
Doctors are arguing about what's this joke about the two hearts and the X-ray? It's like something about
not the doctor, a doctor. Yeah.
Dr. Hudson. Henderson, sorry.
Right.
Cheers. So the janitor overhears that and goes, calls the news station and says, "You pay for stories, right?"
So all these reporters show up. They swarm in like locusts. And the Brigadier shows up with Elizabeth Shaw. Like I said, they examine the doctor. He doesn't think it's his doctor, but the doctor recognizes Elizabeth Stewart, the Brigadier. And so the Brigadier is kind of like, maybe not. Then some Autons show up and try to steal the doctor, take him away. Well, this is where they're trying to take him away. And what's the guy's name? Chalmers?
Channing,
the one with the weird eyes.
Creepy guy.
Creepy.
Jaundiced.
Jaundiced.
Should probably get his liver looked at.
He shows up with a couple of Autons. They try to steal the doctor. And they karate chop the
Dr.
Henderson, when they steal the doctor. And while they've got him in the wheelchair and they're wheeling him into the ambulance, he takes off in the wheelchair and starts running.
They're trying to wheel him up the
ramp.
Yeah.
And he takes off and they're chasing him down the lane. And let's see.
Brigadier's men start opening fire on him.
Right, trying to shoot the tires. Tyres in English, Queen's English.
They spell it with a Y?
Yeah, they spell tires with a Y. We spell it with an I.
Is that why they spell Simon with a Y?
I have no idea, but possibly.
Simon.
They try shooting the tires. The doctor gets away. The doctor's just trying to get back to his tires because he has a key.
He's tired.
And then the doctor finally escapes the ambulance, run by the Autons, and what's his name? Chalmers? Channing.
Like Channing Tatum.
Yeah, like Channing. So the doctor finally gets away from them. He gets out of his wheelchair. He heads towards the TARDIS, which is being defended and guarded by a couple of Brigadier's men, and one of them shoots at the doctor. And that's where episode 1 ends. The doctor falls over.
Trigger discipline.
Right. Yeah. So...
Luckily, it just glances.
right. In episode 2, he found it just glanced him.
Or maybe...
A little bit of service burn.
Or maybe it was a direct hit, and Time Lords just have very tough skulls, and it just ricocheted off.
Yeah, that's not the case.
No?
No. Okay. So, luckily the doctor was only glanced with the bullet. Seriously, this could have been 6 episodes so easily.
A whole lot packed into this.
Yeah, there was a crap ton packed into 4 episodes.
By the end of episode 3, you're like, how are they going to resolve this?
Exactly.
In one episode.
Halfway through episode 4, you're like, how are they going to resolve
this? They still
haven't. So, they take the doctor back to the hospital after he's been shot. Shaw is not happy about this, Liz Shaw. So they're examining him. They're like, well, post a double guard because our previous guard was overtaken, right? They get the TARDIS and take it back to the headquarters for Unit, which they showed previously because who showed up at it?
At the TARDIS?
No,
poacher?
No, the guy who showed up at Unit in episode 1.
Oh, the general guy?
Yeah, General, what's his name? Scobie?
Yeah.
General Scobie.
Scobie-Doo.
So...
Where are you?
Anyway. Yeah, he shows up in episode 1. So, the doctor eventually wakes up, manages to get his shoes and his clothes.
He's worried about his shoes.
Right. Well,
because
I explained that because the TARDIS key.
The key's in the shoes.
The key had been given to the Brigadier. So the doctor goes and he ends up in a shower room for doctors only.
Yeah, he's running around hiding.
And he takes a shower. And some specialist doctor shows up to look at the doctor.
Because he has 2 hearts.
Right.
And sticky platelets.
Yeah, that was a big thing. His blood was not human blood because they are stickier platelets.
The stickiness, so they could have been less sticky.
Right. So this specialist doctor shows up, and the doctor's in the shower, and you can... Seriously, he's got a tan. You see below the tan in the shower, just above the butt crack.
Booties.
Yeah. Well, not quite, just above that. It's probably the most skin the doctor's ever shown. He's showering.
Tattoo.
Well, yeah, he turns around and he dries off. You see his tattoo on his right arm. That was a Navy tattoo because Pertwee was in the Navy. So anyway, he rifles the clothes that are there. Picks out the fancy doctor's nice velvet, clothes.
Ruffles. Is there a lore explanation for why the doctor has a Navy tattoo?
Never. Never. That tattoo is never explained.
So we had Troughton's face doctor. Time Lords are exiling him to Earth, regenerating him forcefully. He's being real picky about his face.
But they just choose one for him.
They choose one. They think the Time Lords just throw a tattoo on his shoulder for the lulz.
Whatever. He was mostly naked.
A booty tan line.
Yeah, he was mostly naked. Pertwee was, and we see that, and he probably got that in the war because
I like to think that the doctors were just like.
He served in the Navy. Pertwee served in the Navy in World War II. Yes, so
not the doctor.
Not the doctor.
So we don't know why the doctor has a tattoo.
Because Pertwee had a tattoo.
They ran out of makeup. They
they
used it all in Channing and the general.
Why try to hide something that's natural to the individual? Seriously. So, anyway, he escapes and he steals the specialist doctor's car, which is a really nice car,
like a
1940s-esque, and he manages to track his TARDIS back to the headquarters of Unit.
Because he has a special sonic wristwatch.
Yeah, it's shown he has a wristwatch that can track the TARDIS. And they're like, how the hell did he find us? Okay, so the Brigadier doesn't quite believe he's the doctor, but once he tracks the TARDIS back to headquarters and he explains a few things, the Brigadier does believe it is the doctor, which comes into effect later when we go from the 3rd to the 4th Doctor. And they go, that's the doctor. Oh, he's done it again. which happens later on. So,
what if one day I just showed up as someone else? It's his face. But I was like, I know you, you're Hatter.
But you're human. I would not believe that could be done to you.
A lot of people think the Doctor's human.
The Brigadier knows better. Alright, so... Okay, so in the meantime, Unit had found a shell of one of the meteorites, the things that come to the ground, and they brought it back to Unit, and they found a whole one and tried to bring it back to Unit, but an auton got in the way of the Jeep. The guy ran off the road. He died. Our first death,
which
will be multiply duplicated later.
I think this is the bloodiest, highest death count serial we have ever had.
In 4 episodes?
4 episodes. Definitely per capita.
What's our total death count?
At least 13 on-screen deaths.
So 13 in 4 episodes. That's 4.25 per episode. No, 3.25 per episode. That's the highest you think we've ever had?
I think so.
Children's show.
Because
it's technically still a children's show. I will let you know when it becomes a family show in a specific episode.
I was looking through the history of our notes, looking for the second movie, which we never watched, but I was also checking the death counts. Reign of Terror was 9 deaths in 6 episodes.
Okay.
There are others.
Alright.
But I think
honestly
this
think it's the most deaths.
I think so.
What about the Daleks' Master Plan?
That was, I think, 12.
But over 12 episodes?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, what about the invasion?
I have to look them up again. But I didn't think there were any... I think I just need to put all these on a database on like a little tablet so I can search by keyword.
Here.
Oh, that's way too fancy.
No, use this.
That's much too fancy.
Use that.
That's too fancy. Ooh, they're thick pages.
Well, yeah, it's the old. That's the way they used to make paper, the old-fashioned way.
Oh, that's far too fancy for my handwriting.
No, use it.
You need a quill and ink.
Use it. I bought that and I've had no use for it the entire time. And I can buy another one for $30. You know?
Where's that from?
The hippie place in the mall.
Oh, Earthbound.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they won't let you take pictures in there.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to take pictures. You just buy it and take it home. But yeah, I got that at Earthbound. I like it.
The 10th Planet had 8 in 4 episodes. So I was...
It's only 2 per episode. We're looking at 3.25.
This one's highest capita. Well, I think the invasion or the master plan was the highest total. Well, I think this one took the record for
this one beats it.
Yeah.
Yay, children's show, lots of death.
This is the bloodiest episode.
Serial.
Yeah. Per capita and overall.
Okay. So...
It's quite a feat.
Well, color, new doctor, new deaths.
It's got
new death total.
A new record for a lot of things.
Okay. So anyway, the doctor ends up in the laboratory at unit headquarters.
Dalek's master plan was 12.
Over 12 episodes. So yeah. So he ends up working with the Shaw for the Brigadier, probably because the Brigadier has the key to his TARDIS.
You think with an episode titled like The Massacre of
St. Bartholomew's Eve, that's a serial.
There was only 4 on screen. A lot more off screen.
But 4 on screen.
Only 4 were on screen. Also, the Reign of Terror used to be one of the bloodiest episodes. That one.
How many deaths?
I think it was around 9 in 6 episodes.
Okay, so this is one of the bloodiest serials, if not the
record.
bloodiest serial we've ever seen per episode. Alright.
And total?
With 3.25. Yeah, even total is pretty bad. Alright, so... Okay, so the Doctor ends up working with Shaw. She's his companion / assistant. And as a note, she is one of the very few companions, who've never traveled in the TARDIS.
So she's not a companion?
No, she is a companion.
She's not a companion.
She is a companion.
You gotta travel in the
No.
TARDIS.
There are exceptions. She is one of them because she helps the Doctor for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, the TARDIS is broken.
Yes.
Okay. The Doctor convinces Liz Shaw, tricks her into stealing the TARDIS key from the Brigadier for him so he can escape in the TARDIS. But the TARDIS is broken because the Time Lords changed the dematerialization code. Right, so...
which means something.
Right, the dematerialization code. So the Doctor can't leave, even though he tries, but the whole thing's shut down. And the entire first couple of seasons of this Doctor, 5 seasons he lasted.
That's a lot.
Yeah, for 3 or so seasons.
So how many seasons do we have?
3, 5.
So why is Jamie the longest running companion? If we have the Brigadier for...
Because Jamie was in more episodes. Because
Because
they were 40-something episodes per season. When we get to the 70s, it drops to 25-ish.
Oh. Okay.
This Doctor's 25-ish.
So more episodes, less seasons.
Yeah, more episodes, more screen time.
More screen time. Okay, cool.
Mm.
So why did they almost halve the episodes per season?
It's a combination of colors more expensive and budget cuts, which is one of the reasons they strained the TARDIS, so they didn't have to make
all the
scenes
sets are on Earth
and sets for other stuff. They just do it on Earth. So the Doctor strained it for several years on Earth because of budget cuts.
Clever.
Exactly. Anyway, so Liz Shaw runs 1 season, and then she leaves because the actress, not the character, but the actress was pregnant.
Oh.
So she ends up leaving because of
That
that.
happened on Zoe 101.
Zoe 101?
Yeah. Except the controversy there was she was 16.
What is Zoe 101?
It was an old, I think Disney Channel show. Yeah, Disney Channel. It's Britney Spears' younger sister. She had a show called Zoe 101. She got pregnant in the last season. They had to cancel the show because she's a pregnant teenager, and they just wore the wardrobe got funny because she was just always in hoodies and stuff. They're trying to finish off the last season and cover up the fact that she had
She was 16.
She was underage. Yeah, that's why they just canceled the show.
Underage, that varies from state to state, and here in Texas, as long as you're within 2 or 3 years of the person, it's okay.
I don't think this one was okay.
No, okay. But if she's 16 and you're 17, it's okay. It's called the Romeo and Juliet law.
Huh?
Based on Romeo and Juliet. You're underage, but you're both underage. So
kids are always having sex. They're rabbits.
Well,
Animals.
If they can, Everyone always has sex if they can. The vast majority of us, anyway. Okay, so... Where the hell were we?
We're talking about how this TARDIS is stranded.
TARDIS is stranded. The Doctor can't go anywhere. Budget cuts. So he's on Earth. The Brigadier, he's working for the Brigadier. He becomes the Brigadier's scientific advisor. Liz Shaw is his assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So the Doctor's literally working for UNIT. And Liz Shaw's assistant. She's one of the few assistants who do not travel in the TARDIS, but she fills the companion role. She's his companion. Yeah, you haven't seen all of her seasons. She does that. It's okay. Alright. Anyway. Where were we in the plot?
TARDIS system.
No, I mean
dematerialization.
Yeah, before that.
Oh, they're studying the meteorite. They just got the truck just crashed.
Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about the plant. Okay, so there's a plastics plant.
Doll factory.
Yeah, doll factory plastics plant.
Very creepy.
True. This plastics plant makes dolls.
It's kind of like the intro to Coraline, showing eyeballs and plastic heads. And dolls are creepy.
Mm-hmm.
So this one dude shows up.
Annabelle. So this guy shows up.
Hibbert?
And,
Was it Hibbert?
Yeah, sure. Hibbert. He essentially is a part owner of the plant. And this plant is right next to the woods, literally right next to the woods where all the meteorites showed up. Meteorites. Anyway, so he goes in, he's like, hey, what's going on? You sent me to the United States for 6 months. And what's the name of the guy that
Is being brainwashed?
is being brainwashed? Yeah.
I think that one's Hibbert.
Okay, what's the name of the other guy?
I don't know if I wrote it down.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a guy who's like, wait, you sent me to the United States, we're working on this doll together, why'd you do that? And he goes to this one guy who's basically brainwashed. And the guy's like, well, we changed everything, you're not needed anymore, you should go away. And then Channing shows up.
Channing.
And the one guy's like, go away while you still can. You're in danger. Channing shows up, he's like, nope, this is all over. You're done. Go away. We should not have any more conversation. Because Channing is controlling the mind of the guy you don't know the name to.
Hibbert.
And who's the other guy?
I don't know. I have one job.
He's showing the man Hibbert. And the other guy's like Ransom with an E.
Ransom. You got it.
No.
Or maybe vice versa.
No, Ransom's like, what's going on? Hibbert's like, you're good, go away. And Channing's controlling everybody.
It's funny how every Doctor Who antagonist has a mind control.
No.
It's just about if they can't organically control someone's mind, they usually just make up a device to control someone's mind.
Several of them, yeah. Alright, so
It's a convenient plot device.
yeah, so, MacGuffin. So Ransom leaves, and then he eventually comes back later.
To do some snooping.
Do some snooping. He
He's not
climbs
very
over
good
the
at it.
fence. Manages to sneak in. Not very good snooping. And then one of the Autons, which is the name of the plastic creatures that they're going to take over the world with, spies him and comes upon him. That's the end of episode 2.
Yes.
Alright, the hand falls open and there's a gun there. And that is a part of the Autons for the vast majority of their run.
So they are reoccurring. That's on my.
They are
I have a
reoccurring.
note
They do
about
show up in modern stuff. Literally.
Because they.
The Autons are in the very first episode of the current revival.
Because they mentioned something like that. The Brigadier's talking to the Doctor. He says they're an intelligent life form. Are they going to try and invade Earth again?
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor's like, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
they're mentally connected, so they know what happened.
Alright. Well, it's the Nestine, not the Autons, but the Nestine.
Yes, not the Autons, yeah, the Nestines. The Autons are created by the Nestines. It's like this controlled consciousness, but then they take these meteorite consciousnesses and put them into the Autons.
Right. Kind of. Okay. Oh.
Also,
It's
they
really
made other plastic Autons that look like people and take their consciousness
And then we're talking
control
about
it into the.
And then we got to talk about the general who has likeness made for them, Trudeau's and Tussauds
Tucson.
and all that. Trousseau's.
Troubadour.
Yeah. Alright. You talk about that. I'm going to the restroom.
Okay. So episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Auton, not a great shot. he's shooting his like missile projector thing at what was his name, Ransom. Ransom gets away. He makes a run for it. He's absolutely hysterical. He runs into the woods. He's found by the unit guards. They're posted, so they take him in, wrap a blanket around him, give him some coffee. He's just spilling it all over himself, looking, it's like, pull yourself together, man. He's hysterical. He's saying, human creatures, not actually humans. He's talking about the Autons, so that gets a lot of attention from unit. They call the brigadier. He comes down. He's like, what happened to you, man? And he's explaining, all the fishy stuff that's going around by the plastics factory. So the brigadier talks to Dr. Who and Liz Shaw, and they devise this plan to go down to the plastics factory and see what's going on, but they don't really have a warrant, so they're just going to talk to Hibbert and Channing. So they show up, they go to the office, they're talking to Hibbert and Channing, they're like, everything okay here? Anything going on? They're like, no, everything's totally normal, everything's fine. And they tell them about, what Ransom said, and they're like, well, he just got fired, he's probably just, trying to give us a bad name, slander us a bit, he's saying some wild accusations because he's upset that we, cut him out of the company. They're like, okay, yeah, that's a fair enough explanation. They're satisfied. They leave. Their suspicions are quelled for now. Meanwhile, Sam Seeley, who we've been introduced to in the first and second episode, in the third episode, he shows up to the unit headquarters and he's like, you have any rewards out for these thunderballs, these meteorites? And they're like, I'm almost upset because we've gotten a glance into Sam Seeley's life, and he's this old, crotchety poacher. He's not really well off. He's just trying to make a buck. He's not in a happy marriage. So he finds one of these thunderballs and he's like, somebody's gonna pay money for that. Maybe I'll get a paycheck. Because he's going around, he's selling like rabbits and stuff, poached rabbits for stew. So you just kind of feel bad for him. You're sad that he's just grumpy and in this bad marriage. And so anyway, he shows up to unit headquarters and he's like, I might have information, I might not. Is there a reward out? And you offer him some money. And he just gets absolutely accosted by these unit guys that are like, where is it? Where is the ball? And you get the feeling where obviously they're not going to pay him for information. So they're just interrogating him. So he fesses up. He's like, okay, I have a ball. I had it in the trunk in my house. So they're like, okay, let's go get it. So they head out to Sam Seeley's house to go find this ball. Meanwhile, in the plastic factory, they're onto us, they're getting suspicious. We gotta grab that ball, except we can't really find it because the homing beacon is kind of muffled. There's some interference, and the reason why the homing beacon on this meteorite ball is muffled and it's being interfered with is because Sam Seeley was keeping it in this chest, and he put blankets on it. I guess it's like a metal chest, so it is messing up the signals. But his wife, who he had a fight with earlier, came out, and she's real curious because he's being awfully suspicious when he had this whole chest pulled out, and he's like, there's nothing here to see. He put it back in the shed. So his wife comes out after they fought, and he left, and she's like, wonder what he's keeping in that chest. So she pulls the chest out, opens it up, and she sees this weird meteorite glowing pulsating orb thing that's beeping. She's like, what on the earth is that? It's super weird, it's super crazy. In the plastics factory with Channing, he goes, hey, the signal's back online. We can home in on it. It's close, through the woods. It's in that cottage. Sends out an Auton to go and recover the ball, much like when he sent out the other Auton that took the ball from the Jeep that had crashed. Apparently, Autons are pretty indestructible. So the first hint you get at that is when the Auton went to recover the meteorite that was on board the truck, the Jeep. He just stood in the road to block the Jeep. That's why he veered off and crashed. So this time, it's Sam Seeley's wife. She's like, okay, well, we'll put the ball back up in the chest, put that back in. She hears the dog barking, and then the dog whimpers, and she knows something suspicious going. Barney the dog. So she goes inside. She sees this horrific plastic-looking person. She's backing out. Yeah, the Auton. She goes, leave me alone. She runs outside. She gets her double-barrel shotgun. Boom, boom. Both barrels.
Yep.
No effect. He just keeps charging at her. Gives her a karate chop on the neck.
But she survives.
She's fine, yeah. It's a happy ending. Takes the ball.
Wait, we're still in the third episode?
Still in the third episode. The Auton takes the ball out of the chest and takes it back to headquarters. Right as the Brigadier and his men are showing up, they open fire on the... Oh no, the Auton doesn't actually get the ball, yeah. Because the Brigadier and his men show up, they're opening fire on the Auton. Autons are pretty indestructible, doesn't have any effect, so the Auton runs off.
This could have so been 6 episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot packed.
A lot of stuff going on.
So anyway, the Auton gets away because, shooting at it doesn't do much. But at least they have a ball that they can study now. And they do so.
Mm-hmm. So they take the ball back to the whole
unit headquarters.
Sphere, back to unit headquarters. And it turns out to be the leader, the Nestine. The Nestine, yeah, the ball is the Nestine first leader. And they examine it, they test it, and they can't figure out anything about it except that it's some sort of central intelligence unit.
They pick up its brainwave patterns, kind of.
Right, on like
which
50
will be
ampules or something.
Will be used later on.
Right.
But
okay.
Yeah, not a whole lot of information. It's not really a physical thing. It's just consciousness that's inside this ball.
Okay, so have we gotten to a ransom? Went back and figured out what was going on.
Yeah, he's right now at the unit headquarters. They had an interview. They went to the plastics factory.
So they take ransom to a tent near this factory. And an Auton cuts his way in.
While they were all at Sam Seeley's house recovering the orb, they left Ransom alone in the tent. Well, there's a guard posted out front,
guards, yeah.
But the Auton cuts his way through the tent
and kills Ransom.
Absolutely obliterates him.
Totally destroys. Total kill, yeah.
Disintegrated.
Yeah. So he doesn't exist anymore.
And
that's like their third death or something.
It's very brutal.
So, the Nestine activate all the Autons. And the Autons are mannequins in most places, and they start moving and start breaking their way out of glass display cases.
Did you talk about the general being replaced?
No, I did not.
So the Autons made a replica of the general. The replica shows up to the general's house.
The general what?
Henderson. No.
Smythe?
You guys couldn't write it down either. Smythe. One job.
The general.
The general, his Auton replica shows up, gives him the karate chop or something. Probably. Oh, no, he's alive.
The general Auton, who, because the general went there and they allowed him to scan, he allowed the factory to scan him, made a replicant of him, supposedly from Madame Tussauds, which is a waxworks place in the United Kingdom.
But really, it's a coup to overthrow the government.
Right. So they make a waxworks version of him. The waxworks version shows up at the end of episode 3 and subdues him. So in episode 4, the actual general is in the Waxworks Museum along with a bunch of Autons who are versions of their current counterparts.
Yeah. Figures in government.
So the Doctor and Liz show up and they're like, this is weird. he has a watch set to the current time, and it's wound back when watches were wound before it went off your.
Did you ever have those watches that would wind by you just shaking it?
Yeah, but
I remember my dad had a watch that you needed to wind, and it wouldn't wind up. I just
right. But prior to that, you wound the watch on the side. I remember those. Anyway, so
winder.
And so
you pull it out, and you could also set the time.
Yeah, turn it.
And push it.
So literally, they're in Madame Tussauds, and the Doctor and Liz hide behind a curtain.
Meanwhile, the General's replica went to the unit headquarters and took the meteorite ball.
Right, the one with the lead, whatever.
Yeah. Now that they brought the leader's consciousness back to the plastics factory, they could move on with the next step of their plan, which was
right. So
waking up all the
that happens, and in the morning, they wake up all the autons and all the mannequins come to life because they're flexible and they're controlled by the autons. And the Doctor and Liz figure out a really weird. Seriously, it looks like an old-fashioned. What's the word for it?
Ham radio.
No, not ham radio, but vacuum tube. They have several old-fashioned vacuum tubes on there, but they figure out a frequency that will stop the autons. And they
do with their brain waves.
Yeah, they do that at 50 decibels or whatever, and it stops the bad guys. And all the good guys storm, the Brigadier and all of his men, storm the factory, and the fake general shows up with some men. But the Doctor proves they're fake by, sonicking him with the exact waves from this machine.
His face turns back into all plasticky.
Yeah, it shows him all plastically.
Wakes up in the Madame Tussauds.
Exactly. The real general wakes up in Madame Tussauds. All the others have left. So the Doctor, while the gunfight's going on between Unit and the Autons, manages to get all the way into the room of the head Auton, the head of the nesting.
The anus Auton.
Yeah, the one with the prolacted anus. Seriously, it was bad. And the Doctor manages to shoot the frequency at that.
Not before getting choked out by some tentacles.
Yeah, so seriously, this thing goes tentacle.
He goes to shoot it and it doesn't do anything.
It's a bit of tentacle porn.
He's like, Liz, turn it on.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm trying to turn it on. He's being choked out by tentacles. And then I assume Liz Shaw unplugged it and then did some work on it and then plugged it back in.
Right.
But with the camera edits, it looks like the problem was that she just forgot to plug it in. So,
right. It's a bit of tentacle porn.
It wasn't working, and it cuts back to her, and she plugs it in.
She plugs it in.
And it's working.
Right.
It's like, oh, you forgot to plug it in.
Right. And he sonics the bad guy. The bad guy withers up. And all the Autons fall as a result. You've been watching Game of Thrones, you'll know of this when...
Not before running through the streets
general,
and slaughtering a lot of civilians.
Right. There's like 13, 14 deaths in this.
About 9 of those were just random people on the street.
Right. Because the Autons woke up and just shot people, because they were doing this supposedly all over the United Kingdom.
Yeah, they're trying to... while this is happening, lots of civilians are dying.
Yeah.
Worldwide. The Doctor's having...
live, at least.
The Doctor's having a pleasant conversation with Channing about how, they're the origins of their race and how they've assimilated thousands of other planets and...
No, 1,000 million other planets.
That's a lot.
$1 billion.
So there's just a billion other planets that have been assimilated by the Autons and the Nestines, and you kind of just go, a lot of people are dying. You should maybe zap them already. But
Exactly.
Just chatting.
So, when the Doctor zaps them with their frequency, the Nestines are defeated.
The anus
the
explodes.
The anus explodes.
Which is good because I was getting uncomfortable looking at it pressing itself up against the glass.
Yeah, if only it breaks the glass. And the Doctor's like, oh, okay, this is all over. I guess I'll stick with you here at Unit because I can't go anywhere in the TARDIS, and I want a new car. He's got to return the
one that
car
looks
he
just
has.
like Beavis's.
He gets a great car. It's Bessie. He calls it Bessie. It's awesome. Okay, the third Doctor was very much about his vehicles, and they're awesome.
That's his quirk. So, like, we have a recorder. Gearhead.
Gearhead, because he likes cars?
Yeah.
Alright, I guess Gearhead.
What was Hartnell's thing?
The first bloody Doctor.
He's grumpy.
Curmudgeon.
There you go.
That's the word.
That was his quirk.
Curmudgeon.
What's the next one's quirk?
What? Tom Baker?
Is that bigger?
It's Tom Baker. It's a bloody scarf and
his quirk.
A scarf and an aptitude for quirkiness. An aptitude for being different.
What's your quirk, Hatter?
Mine?
Yes.
I'm honest.
Is that a quirk?
I don't know.
Something quirky is a quirk.
I'm honest and know myself.
I don't know quirkiness.
Most people aren't themselves. I'm myself.
Want to know my quirk? Cookies?
Cookies?
Calories?
Alright,
high fructose
grab
corn
a drink.
syrup
Grab a drink.
and gluten.
Grab a drink.
Alright.
Yeah, that's nothing.
And that's the end of episode 4. Thus the end of Serial 51.
You grab a drink, I'll finish this.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay, let's take that with you. Alright. Alright. So anyway, the Doctor and Liz Shaw, his companion, with the Brigadier and his men, storm into the factory, and they manage to more or less sonic all the bad guys. So they sonic the main bad guy, despite the tentacle porn crap coming out against the Doctor. And all the Autons fall down, like a la Star Wars Episode 1. God, I hate referencing that. Or Game of Thrones Episode 8. Season 8. God, I hate representing that. Or referencing that. But it all happens. And the Doctor's like, well, I promise I will not try to leave the TARDIS again. But you provide me everything I need. And the Brigadier's like, okay. So we'll provide you with a wardrobe, a new car, the scientific equipment, whatever you need. And then it ends. And it's good. And that is the first serial, Spearhead of Space. The 51st serial, but the very first one, the Third Doctor. The next 3 serials of the Third Doctor, all 7 episodes each. And that's the fullest extent of the 7th season. 4, 7, 7, 7. 25 episodes. Unfortunately, alright. Cheers.
What you been talking about, Harry?
Talking about the episode, the serial, and the several next ones. Yeah. Unfortunately, They're down to the 25, 26 episodes a season. But fortunately for us, they all exist and they're in color. Oh, I'm drunk. You're drunk. It's okay. Yes.
That's what that's there for.
What are your questions over this?
Your questions. So we talked about the potential return of the Autons and the Nestines. How they hinted at that being a thing at the end of the 4th episode. Which it still feels like to me that they're just really kind of reaching to replace the Daleks. Because they kind of replace the Daleks with the Cybermen. That's kind of working because they're, going back to them like they used to go back to the Daleks. But they don't own the Daleks. So they try to replace them with the Cyberman.
Oh, they
so this looks like another attempt to set up a recurring villain that was as popular as the Daleks, but it looks like they never really hit in anything that they do have popular recurring villains.
So what's the question?
Oh, nothing.
What do you mean nothing? No, the Autons return, the Daleks return, the Cybermen return.
Yeah. I guess the question was, will the Nestines return?
The Autons return.
Autons return, but not the Nestines. We'll see.
I don't believe the Nestines specifically returns, but the Autons do return. So, yes.
We also talked about how this serial set a lot of records, being the first in color, the first Blu-ray quality one. It's the 3rd Doctor, and it has the most deaths.
Thus far.
This is also the first time they mentioned the Doctor's second heart in his special anatomy.
Alright, physiognomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
That thing. That's weird blood. It's weird, either sticky or less sticky blood.
Sticker platelets.
Yeah. I wrote down a note about the faceless ones. Because the faceless ones was a reconstruction. And reconstruction episodes will often interview people and talk about the history of the episode. And others don't normally do that.
The faceless ones being animated.
Yes, it was animated, reconstructed.
Originally reconstructed. It's been animated and it's being released here October 20th.
Oh, so the animation is not out yet. We watched the reconstruction.
It's out in the UK. It's not out in the United States.
It's out in the United States if you have a VPN.
October 20th.
Do you ever do that? You use a VPN to change your IP address to a different country so you can get...
No, I have no... Well, I understand what you're talking about. I don't know how to do it.
Like you hop on YouTube and it goes, this video is not available in your country. And you go, not for long.
Yeah, no,
you hop on your VPN and you...
I'm in my 50s. I don't know how to do that. Yeah. But the faces will be October 20th, 2020 here in the States.
So we watched the reconstructed one, not the animated one.
Correct.
And
for the Macro Terror, which preceded it, we did the same thing.
Yes.
You and I, at some point, will watch them, and if we haven't done it as of yet, the episode count will diverge from the serial.
I think we're one off already. I think we diverged at some point.
No, we're straight on.
Oh, so this is the 51st episode and the 51st serial.
Yes, but that will diverge.
I thought we lost track at one point when we watched something.
It will diverge eventually, if not now.
Well, we do have a lot to catch up on, like the second movie, some animations that are coming out.
Well, the faceless one with the Macro Terror.
Yeah,
we could do those now, and we could diverge, and that'd be fine. But we can do that if we want. Seriously.
Yeah. So, because we watched the reconstructed faceless ones and the loose cannon reconstructions, they usually interview people and they talk about the history of the making of the episodes. So originally, when the script was written for the Faceless Ones, it took place in a mall. And it had these sort of assembly-like mannequins that took on the appearance of other people in a coup to take over the world or something. So this episode reminded me a lot of the original draft of the Faceless Ones, because later they changed the Faceless Ones to be these kind of more organic life forms, and it took place in the airport. I don't remember why. So I was wondering if they're once again sort of recycling that script and maybe going back to a more original vision of it, because I remember them saying something about originally revisiting that script.
They do that constantly.
Yeah. Oh, like they recycle ideas.
Constantly.
We do have recurring villains.
It's been on for like 58 years. I mean, it does that constantly. In various forms of fashions, you know? Yeah, exactly.
It's like how I use the same couple jokes over and over again.
Mm-hmm. But this started on for 5 seasons. It's first for Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the longest seasons because it's less episodes per season.
But it's on longer. So that's good.
We also talked about mind control, how every Doctor Who antagonist eventually controls someone's mind at some point.
Many of them, but not all of them.
But
the Master does. We haven't encountered the Master
Name
yet.
one non-historical serial that didn't have mind control in it.
The Daleks.
The Daleks control people's minds because they make the headsets.
That was later.
Yeah.
The original, the Daleks did not.
But the Daleks have used mind control.
But the Daleks
as has
serial did not. The Daleks eventually do, but the Dalek serial did not.
Well, that's specific.
But you're thinking the Daleks' invasion of Earth.
Yeah. Name one antagonist that doesn't use mind control.
Give me a few minutes.
I know, right? Can't think of one.
Cybermen.
Cybermen also use mind control, didn't they? They made devices that they stuck on people's heads. I think that was the very first episode of the Cybermen.
The Zygons.
Yeah. They use the headsets and they...
No, the Zygons.
Mind-wash people.
No, not the Zygons. Wait, we haven't counted them. Never mind. We have not encountered the Zygons.
Okay.
I haven't encountered the Zygons. You haven't encountered.
So the Zygons are a sci-fi antagonist that don't use mind control?
In the future, yeah.
Okay.
They do more of chameleon-esque stuff.
Okay, good. Even this one is chameleon-esque, but they still use mind control, which was... Well, I guess they get more creative in their script writing eventually. That was just something funny I noticed.
What about the smugglers?
How everyone...
The smugglers.
I've seen that one. Remind me.
Well, yeah, it was the
that was the previous one, wasn't it?
serial of the 4th season of Doctor Who, where you had the smugglers and the monk. They didn't use mind control.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I'm satisfied.
Right. And then the Highlanders. The second serial.
That's a historical, though.
Right, but they're both historical. But he uses mind control.
Oh, I said non-historical.
What are you talking about now?
Well, obviously the historical ones aren't going to use mind control. I'm talking about the sci-fi antagonists. They all use mind control.
Okay.
Because of the cavemen aren't, and
the Macra Terror.
The Macra Terror don't use mind control.
Well, that was the Macra.
The crab
base.
people.
Yeah.
Okay.
The moon base didn't use it.
Did it not? Those were the Cybermen. It was the moon base.
Yeah, it was Cybermen.
And the Cybermen have used mind control in the past.
Well, when they take people over, not before they take people over. Okay, so...
Okay. You went.
What other questions you have? For this one or the last? Because You were not here for the last
I
one.
will be here all night.
Yeah, you were rolling around the living room with a bucket.
The key has a metabolism detector when someone else tries to use the key to open the TARDIS. So the key only works for the Doctor because it detects his metabolism. But
yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah, because the Doctor's given the key to companions in the past, so did he program their metabolisms into the TARDIS?
We have no idea. That's literally
because I think he gave the key to Steven or someone or something at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole new thing, and
So
we don't know about it.
The key didn't work with the Brigadier.
Well, no, but the Doctor gives the key to other people later on, and it works or it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah.
Like all things TARDIS, sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing that gets dropped, you know?
Rose Garden. Oh, we talked about that. Oh, the Doctor's clothes. Beavis never gets his suit back.
Yeah, that's his name, Beavis.
He does get his car back. Beavis gets his car back.
And I guess he gets his back.
And then,
no, but Beavis was poorly. The Doctor was not. I mean...
Yeah, but his outfit fit perfectly.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
The Doctor is so fond of Beavis's car and his outfit that he continues to wear ruffles and drive a 1940s automobile.
He eventually gets a car called Betsy.
Betsy.
And it's not 1940s. It looks like a UK 1930s.
Oh.
And it is sweet. The third Doctor is very much into his cars. He has Betsy. He eventually has the Who-mobile. Don't ask questions, you'll see it later.
The Who-mobile.
You will see it later.
Does it have question marks on it?
No, but
Okay.
it's one of those multi-functional vehicles that goes on land and water things.
Neat.
Because the third Doctor, much like his watch that they track the TARDIS, is much more
Gadget.
James Bondish. Yeah.
That was a popular thing around them.
Yeah, he likes the James Bond stuff.
So, do you think the Doctor is easily influenced when he first regenerates? Because we have Troughton, when he first regenerated into Troughton, he's digging through this chest of things, and then he finds this recorder, and he goes, oh yeah, I like that. And it kind of sort of put in motion his character and his personality traits. So now we have the second regeneration of the Doctor, Pertwee, and Pertwee just regenerated, and he's waking up, and then he sees this outfit, and it's like, I like that, and he sees his car, and he's like, I like that too. That sort of puts into motion his personality and his traits and his quirks and what he likes. So do you think it's this weird, because he what do you think about that? Is the Doctor easily influenced by his surroundings when he first regenerates?
It would seem as such, yes.
So it's kind of like his mind is reforming, and he's burning these new neural pathways. And
exactly.
It's a fun look into the psyche of the Doctor and how, we can guess at how those regenerations work.
Oh, seriously, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Is that
Drink.
good?
And I need more alcohol.
Going at it,
What's your next question?
I think that's about it for this one.
Okay, so going back to the last one,
this is the
way too toasty to ask me questions.
That was pretty toasty.
Rolling around in my living room with the bucket.
This was the very first serial where the Doctor doesn't take off in the TARDIS.
Wait. This one?
Yeah, Spearhead into space.
Yeah, Spearhead from Space.
Because
he can't.
He's stuck on Earth.
Right.
Which is
TARDIS
really
is broken, yeah.
the first time that the Doctor's been stranded somewhere for more than one serial.
And they did it for budgetary reasons, So
last serial was the War Games. 10 episodes. A lot happened. It was the Doctor's finale. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have any.
Can you read what you wrote?
I can read it. I don't know if it makes sense, though.
Yeah.
I wrote down something about a Sid Rat. We have the first appearance of the Time Lords. We can talk about that.
Yeah. And the Time Lords.
Oh, General Smythe was from the War Games, not Spearhead to Space.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what his name was. General something.
Okay. But the Sid Rat was TARDIS spelled backwards.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And the Sid Rat was what they used to transport people in the War Games for the time zones.
And that was that rogue Time Lord.
What was his name? Something.
I'll find it here somewhere. He was like the master or something.
No.
War Chief? Warlord.
Warlord, yeah.
Yeah. So he's a rogue.
Warlord.
Do you remember why he was doing the War Games? He was supposed to solve something. He's gonna take over something.
Oh my gosh, it was so eclectic. So abstract.
I forgot why he went rogue and started simulating battles.
I don't know.
Things happen.
Yeah. Things happen.
Oh, did we talk about the green discoloration? The sort of... There's something to do with the film, and it had this green discoloration, sort of mist on the film. Something to do with the film.
Nope, don't remember.
Oh, well.
You were drunk, I was drunk. It's okay.
Kind of like the
Lots of
film. There's some sort of filming quirk where it had like a green discoloration. Do you know the explanation for why the film was doing that?
It was just the difference between the film that was recovered and the film that was not, and you get discoloration.
So it was like age is why.
True, but yeah, that's very common amongst the first two Doctors. For the stuff they deleted, the stuff they erased. And we'll get just a smidgen of that in the Third Doctor. There were episodes of the Third Doctor that were erased, but then recovered only in black and white. They recovered black and...
Excuse me.
You okay?
Yeah, I went down the wrong pipe.
Okay. Tube. But there were some episodes that were recovered, but only in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
But they used the color chromatons from the other episodes of the serial to color.
Excuse me.
To color the recovered black and white episodes, so they recolorized it.
Technicolor.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, kinda. Yes. But they did that for some of the Third Doctor stuff.
Wasn't early color television? They would go in and they'd have to like paint each individual film frame. That's Technicolor.
Yeah, they did that in The Wizard of Oz. They did that in other movies, but they started that. They stopped doing that in the 50s or so.
So it must have taken forever.
Well, yeah, that's when they stopped doing it.
And then they finally had actual color television.
Yes.
Which,
60s or so.
Yeah. Well, this one looks pretty great. 1970s Doctor Who in color. I've seen early color vision television that didn't look so great. It's very kind of bland. What do you think the next breakthrough in technology is that similar to color television? Like, what's a technology that's lacking just like the next step that would really make it?
We've gone to HD. We've gone to 4K.
Not necessarily even like television. Like self-driving cars. When will those be fully autonomous, do you think?
23.
3 years from now? 2023?
2023.
Cool.
Or so.
Why do you say that? Just a guess?
Just here's where things are going. Alright.
I'm trying to buy time until I figure out what
I've
written down.
But we're going like an hour and a half here.
Yeah, I just don't know what I've written down.
We don't know what you've written down?
I just wrote down notes for the episodes.
From this week or last?
Last week.
Last time.
War games. Napoleonic Wars, Mexican Civil War, Crimean War.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's talk about that cube the Doctor used, where he submitted his consciousness and his plea for help to the Time Lords. He put it in this weird cube technology that he had. What does that ever come back? Is that a gadget he has? Is that just how he communicates with the Time Lords in case of an emergency?
In this case, that is how he communicated with the Time Lords for an emergency. So he called upon them, and when they said, "You call upon us, well, we have to punish you." And they regenerated him.
Well, he was punished for stealing a TARDIS.
Well, for lots of stuff.
He did argue his necessity.
True.
The Doctor also talked about his memories being wiped.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? Because I remember them wiping his companions' memories, where they remembered only the very first encounter with the Doctor or something.
Correct. And for that happened to Jamie and Zoe at the end of the second Doctor's The War Games serial.
But apparently they also wiped the Doctor's memories a bit.
Yes.
But I'm not sure why.
There's a gap there that has been theoretically utilized to
make space for
to account for other Time Lords, for the other Doctors, including the latest one. What's her name?
The 13th one?
No. Not the 13th Doctor, Whittaker, but
14th.
No, the one who encountered. Okay.
How many Doctors? I thought there's only 13.
Okay. There are only 13 plus the War Doctor.
Okay.
At least according to proper counting.
Mm-hmm. So you're theorizing that the explanation for why the Time Lords wiped the Doctor's memory, plot-wise, is to make room for retconning in prequel Doctors into that space.
Hold on. Okay. In Doctor Who, we start with Hartnell, the first Doctor.
Yeah.
We go through to Whittaker, 13th Doctor. But Chibnall has jammed in other Doctors. Okay. To be fair, before him, they kind of jammed in the War Doctor. Great, still fit with the regeneration cycle.
He's the 8th.
Right, 8 and a half.
And then it goes to
8.5. But now...
But there wasn't an 8th Doctor.
There was
7.
Doctor.
There was? The War Doctor. There's 7. War Doctor, 9.
Okay. Hartnell. No. Troughton. Pertwee. Baker. Davison. Colin Baker. McCoy, 7th Doctor. McGann was the 8th Doctor. And then you jump to Eccleston, who's the 9th Doctor. In between 8 and 9 is the War Doctor. Who is Tom Hurt.
I don't know.
We'll get there. Then you have Tennant is the 10th Doctor. Smith is the 11th Doctor. Capaldi's the 12th Doctor. And Whittaker's the 13th Doctor.
So how many portraits do we have?
13. We have 13.
Okay. I missed the 8th one.
You missed the 8th one. Alright. Third Doctor. That's the one we're on. Pertwee.
Hartnell and Troughton's in the back.
Hartnell, Troughton's in the back. And then
along with the Daleks and Cybermen.
the Word Doctor. That's the Word Doctor, Tom Hurt.
8.5.
The 8. It works out to be 8.5. It's a long story. The 8th Doctor. McGann.
He's the movie one, right?
Yes, it's a TV movie. Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
all caught up.
okay, this is running really long. All right.
Yeah, we're probably 2 hours at this point.
Okay. What was the freaking question?
I don't know.
You.
Something about the War Doctor and the 8th Doctor and number of regenerations or something. Retconning into Pertwee's
There's
amnesia.
not the question.
My question was done?
I have no idea what the question is anymore.
Well, that just about covers it.
Mm.
Anything you'd like to add?
We're missing something. We got on something and we're missing it.
So we're talking about Pertwee's amnesia and how his memories were wiped, and then
Just briefly.
retconning doctors into that time frame, potentially.
No, there was something else. Alright. Anyway. Any more questions about the last serial?
Nope, not that I can understand.
He got really wasted, but that's fine. That's okay. That's what we do here at Drunk Doctor Who. Drink at home. Thank you.
Drink responsibly.
Mm.
And thank you once again for joining us.
Or irresponsibly if you're at home.
Or irresponsibly if you're at home.
Yeah, you do your own thing.
Alright.
So we will see you next week, hopefully with the third Doctor's second serial. And remember, the third Doctor has 3 more serials in this season 7, and there are 7 episodes each. The next one is Doctor Who and the Silurians, which is the only time a title includes Doctor Who. Alright, see you next time. Goodbye.
Sing our outro song, Heather.
Whatever you said.
Outro song? Do you have an outro song to sing?
You press the red button.
Yeah, but you gotta sing our outro song.
Outro? What outro song?